Hey, good friends, welcome to the Mag Painter Show. Challenging times and difficult situations can make us feel hopeless, can make us feel as if we're tired, defeated, and we want to give up. Baby, the first thing I'm going to need you to tell yourself is ain't nobody got time for that. If you're an English teacher, I get that that's like a double negative thing, but I need you to see where I'm coming from. Ain't nobody got time for that, baby. See, when we are in this realm, in this place, and all this stuff is going on, we're feeling overwhelmed and we feel like we want to give up. Now is not the time to give up, my friends. Now is the time to fight. And how we're going about fighting is that we're starting within ourselves, fighting this negative talk and this negative thinking that is not serving a purpose to who we are to become. You didn't know. If you didn't know, I'm telling you now, you are to be more than what you think you are. You are made for more, honey. And that's what this talk is about. So how do we discipline our minds to see past these difficult situations where we can actually see now that we have won? Because, baby, we made more than be conquerors. So now is the time to learn anew and if not focus on what is in our own power, what is it that we can't do, what is it that we don't have, but focus on the one who can save. Now, when I wrote that down, I heard this song. Now they say that a hero can save us. I'm not gonna stand here and wait. Okay, first of all, let me tell you, we are not standing here waiting on man for anything. And I mean, this is not just I ain't waiting on that man. No, we're not waiting on man or woman for anything, but yet we are waiting on God. We are focusing on God because he will show and prove. And so what I paid attention to when we first get into this word, when we first start reading and getting to know God, because this is the taste and see. And so this is like, a taste testing kind of a thing, because you want to taste and see if you like it. And so what I paid attention to when we first get into this tasting thing, it's like, okay. But then after it has time to kind of like process, we've tasted it a couple of times and it's like, okay. But then once you're able to see what it does, it's like, oh, that's what it did to me. It brought me life. It gave me energy. It's okay. I kind of like that. So then you get to a place where it's like, you get to another point of tasting and it's like, yo, this is actually kind of good. Like at first, I may not have, it may not have agreed with me, but I'm agreeing with it. I like this. Then the hunger grows and you start to want it and desire. And it's like, hey, that bread. I'm gonna eat that steak later. But right now I need that daily bread. I need that daily bread because this is my morning. I need it. I need it. I'm craving it. I need it. And then we get to a place, you got to wash all that down because this is a part of tasting and seeing. And so as we're washing it down and it's flowing and it's, you're being rejuvenated. I like food, people. And so I'm connecting this with the food thing because, okay, when you eat junk food, have you ever paid attention to how junk food will make you it'll give you a temporary satisfaction, but like 10, 15 minutes later, it's like, I'm kind of hungry. What did we just eat? So it's like, it's not really giving you anything. It's just giving you a quick, okay, we had a little quick taste of something and my stomach feel a little bit better, but it's not giving you no life. It's not giving you energy, making you want to do anything. It's not inspiring you. If anything, it's making you feel sluggish and you want to go lay down. And so it was a situation where my aunt Fabia once told me, I said something about, I'm starting to like onions now. And she was like, yeah, that's because your taste buds are mature. And I looked at her. But after that register, it was like, I get where she's talking about because now I'm able to actually taste the flavoring of things. Like I can taste the difference between that onion and that onion and that onion. Oh my gosh. Because when you add it, I didn't got deep into the food. But in going into the food, baby, you are the salt of the earth. We need your flavoring. And so how this salt thing goes, and I have various salts, and I love to cook. I have various salts in my kitchen. And along with this taste buds maturing, this is also a thing where we are to mature. Baby, do you know that there are different salts and that the salts taste different? You ever seen the little itty bitty salt with the chick that got the umbrella and she just sprinkling everywhere? That salt tastes different than the bigger kosher salt, and that salt tastes different than the Himalayan salt. That salt tastes different than the Hawaiian black salt that I have. And that salt tastes different than the sriracha blended. Baby, you are the flavoring to this whole situation that's happening here. And what's going on is that when we add our salt to others, it's not... Have you ever added salt to your food and it's like... And I'm not talking about too much salt. I'm talking about just enough where it's like... like we're in a Goldilocks thing. It's, oh my God, this is just perfect. And so this is a place where you're not making them taste like you, but you're making them taste more of the flavor of the purpose of why they're here. So this is what the salt does. So, while you having salt added to you, they having salt added to them, baby, we making this whole everything taste good. But we got to get to this point because we have to understand what's happening and what's going on and how we're going through this process of being salted, because all these struggles and all this other stuff, baby, it's not in vain. It's not in vain. So in seeing here that we are being enhanced, we're not being enhanced just to be enhanced for our own self purposes. We are being enhanced so that we can enhance others. And it's all for the glory of God. And it's just like once I used to see this, it's not in my notes, but I used to see this thing where people would say, I was on Facebook or something like that, and they had mentioned, well, I'm the one who paid your bills. How dare you mention somewhere else or yell out to the world that God was the one who did it for you? Honey, let me tell you something. When you get in a relationship with God and have this experience because it's one thing for man to pat you on your back and give you the compliments and give you the glory. But when you give God the glory, that light, it's like the warmth of the sun. It is a love radiating, and you wouldn't have got that love radiating if man would have given you the glory. Like, this is a totally different thing. This is and it's not because it's so stuck on experience. This is a thing in which you experience. And so I'm telling you all about this because it's a thing where you are not your struggles, but your struggles are are used to make you to be made for more. So in reading the word, because I got to keep getting comfortable because I kind of want to pace the room because there's so much I have to say. So in reading the word, we understand that part of God's personality is that he's a planner. He's a purposeful planner at that. And so I don't care if all your life you heard you weren't supposed to be here, you were a one-night stand, you this, that, and the other, even if you feel like your parents got rid of you and you were adopted, whatever you feel like, where somebody made you feel like you didn't belong, or even if yourself you've agreed that you don't deserve to be loved, and stop that right now, because God has a purpose and a plan for your life, and we are putting ourselves in a position to seek out what that is, because you have experienced for yourself that you can plot and plan and do all the stuff that you want to do, baby, but there will be all these twists and turns that you didn't even see on a marathon and a run. While you're running this marathon, it's like, oh, I didn't see that around the corner. But God does. So in the midst of us having these twists and turns and all these different things that we may be planning for, let's make it a part of our plan to seek out his plan. You know what I'm saying? So I want you to look at this thing, because this is not a religious thing where if you come join this gang, I promise you, you ain't got nothing else to worry about. This is not it. This is a relationship thing. This is where you are gaining the experience for yourself. You are seeing for yourself that he is a living God. He is the many-breasted one. And I said that just to say, to not put him just in the box of this man. But in seeing the creator and recognizing the various perspectives that he has, the many-faced one. And when we see these things for ourselves in a relationship, this is how we're able to develop the bond, develop the intimacy. In his presence, we experience his love. And through these struggles, these trials, these tribulations, we are able to test and prove that his word is truth. It's not a thing where this is how it is and just go. And no, this is a thing where you experience that this is real. This is he's telling you the truth. So, like I've said, we've experienced lies. We've experienced believing lies. Let's shift this. Let's actually test it, taste test it. Test and see what it is that God has to offer us. Because this isn't a thing where he's not telling you the type of God that he is. Like you're just in... what is the word that I'm searching for? Like you're just in complete blank. Thank you. Like you're just completely blank. Like, well, I don't know who you are. I don't know what this is, but okay. He's in relationship. You are seeking to find out what this person is about. You can't be intimate with a person, and especially if you're looking to get intimate. I mean, we grown. If you haven't spent the time, and I'm not talking about manipulation and, people can put up the illusion and stuff. This is not it. This is a thing where we are looking past what seems like what's happening right now and focusing on what's real. Even though we can't see it, but there is evidence of this thing that's what's real. And we want to put ourselves in a place where we're wiping that off. Like, I could see clearly now, the blind folks gone. So when we take time to study and we're giving thanks, we're communicating and listening and obeying. Now, I get a lot of times we are afraid of that whole obeying situation, but I don't want you to think of this obey not from whoosh, do what I say, do, no questions asked. Because in many places of the Bible, you can see you can have a conversation with God anytime you're feeling weak, anytime you're unsure. There's a time where it was a situation I mentioned Lot's wife in the past video. But there's a situation where Abraham, and this is the same situation where that city was about to get, those cities was about to get burnt up. That was about to be gone. And Abraham wanted time for his people to escape. And so he's having a conversation with God like, well, what if there were 10 people there? Can you just hold off for it? Or what if there are 5 people? And so just in seeing that, like God is really showing this parent that, come sit, let's have a conversation. Things you don't understand, I'm going to help you out. Where you are weak, I'm going to give you strength. But this is a thing where you have to experience it. And you won't experience it if everything is all hunky-dory all the time and everything is just... Why did hunky-dory just register to me? Now is not the time to think about vocabulary and the depth of words. Lord, help me. So, but still, at the same time, as we are studying the word, we want to get in the depth of what this word is saying. We have Greek words, Hebrew words, all these other words where we can't just look at this word as at surface value. This is why there is a study. And so when we get in study and apply this word, the obey, I almost forgot. So with this obey thing, the thing that came to me with this obey was like the parent and a loving, intimate relationship. A parent is telling you, no, don't do that. the first thing I thought that is coming to me right now. A parent would have told you, because my dad's name was Charlie, but there was Charlie the light bulb bug that had a little light bulb on his booty. Bro was not in existence. I'm telling my age. Bro was not in existence talking about not doing certain things with electricity and sockets and so forth and so on. But yet, I don't recall a parent telling me I shouldn't stick anything in a socket. And it was interesting that my father was an electrician at the time. Anywho, typically a parent would tell you, don't do this, the stove is hot, this is that and the other, because of the consequences. They're not telling you this because of, I don't want you to have a good time, so this is why I'm telling you don't. No, this is out of a protection thing. And so I'm saying the socket thing, because boy, when I stuck that key in the socket, praise the Lord, I'm alive, because it jolted me to a whole nother universe, and I wasn't able to take my hand off, but my daddy was able to grab me off. And then here comes Charlie the light bulb dude with little bug with it. It's like, where were you? Okay, but so this is, and also considering a lover situation. No matter the sex in this, and someone is telling you, yeah, babe, here, take my car. Don't drive yours today. They may not necessarily be giving you the explanation, but you know they love you. And this is why you want to be aware of the people who you are getting in relationships with, because when it comes to obeying what they're telling you, you're not trying to obey someone who's not really loving you or don't know how to love you. And so, and this person is telling you this, they may not give you the reason why, but in you trusting and obeying them. Because if you're in a place where I'm be stubborn, I do what I want to do. They can't tell me what to do, but they were in the process of working on your car, or do a surprise for you, and you go out and kill yourself because you didn't know that the brakes weren't working at the time. So this obey thing is not a thing where it is to limit you and make you not be yourself. This obey thing is so that you can have an understanding of the difference of how you live when it was just you and how you're living when now God is in your life, and you're able to see the differences in those consequences, because there are consequences either way, but you're able to see the consequences in living with God. And so, and experiencing and feeling the truth and love with God, this shifts our mindset. This is what we're fighting for. We are fighting against the things that are trying to take us back, that are trying to keep us stuck, that are trying to have us in a place where we're not able to see the purposes and the plan that God has for us, because a lot of these things are part of the plan. We have to be prepared for where we're going to, and these wilderness people are very, very important in this, because this is not a place to complain and talk about what you don't have, and be thankful for everything that you have. They're showing us in these times of struggle, this is a place where we have experienced things of God if we are willing to open our eyes. And even though we may not know exactly where He is taking us, we are trusting and believing. And how we get to this trusting and believing Him is by studying Him and putting our place in our hearts in a place to experience that. And so studying God, you are able to see how He hears you, how He speaks to you, how He's patient, kind, and merciful, because you mess up. And this is not a place this is a safe place. This is not a place where I'm here to tell you, you know you're wrong doing that. You know you was wrong for doing that. You're going to hell. I mean, and the stuff that's happening, and how people are talking, baby, it feel like we in hell right now. So why not bring the kingdom here? Why not experience place? Because God is, if He will not leave us nor forsake us, and especially if this is feeling like hell and we got the rest here, baby, the stuff that He promises us. So you want to see what it is that He promises us, because He brings peace, perfect peace. When you love his law, but we got to understand what his law is. It's not dead. It is alive. The 10 Commandments cannot speak to us. But when we get to a place of understanding the love of God and understanding how he operates, you get respect for the 10 Commandments. Because like, okay, I see where it comes from. But it's like at the same time, it's like you already become that because you're in alignment with everything and loving God. It changes things because you see how he's faithful to his word. Now I get the thing in going to churches, different rituals and stuff. It's all about your faithfulness. It's hard to be faithful when you don't have a thing to imitate, when you not have exposure to that thing. So when we put ourselves and our hearts in a place to be exposed to God, it changes our thinking. It expands the possibilities of what could be instead of what can't be. And so the more that we put into ourselves, the more we have the ability to pour out to others. This whole salty business, it's not about us being bitter and salty, but it is for us to be flavorful, for us to add spice in the place, and for us to enhance the seasoning of others. And it's not for them to taste like us. But the kingdom, baby, that's a whole nother flavoring. Oh, God, I'm going to need y'all to taste some good stuff. God has a way of making bland stuff like, how did you do this? It's an experience. It is an experience. And so we have to keep in mind, this is the being real situation. We have to keep in mind that we are being re-educated. Consider children. You're at a point where tying your shoes can be the easiest thing in the world, but to them it's like, why? We did this 50 times. Do I have to just do it in time for me? And this is a thing where this is a thing where you have to do it for yourself. He can't do it for you. But in us doing it ourselves and in learning, this is where the shifting is being occurred. This is where all this stuff is happening. So there are going to be times of frustration. There are going to be times where you feel like you are not being heard, like his presence is not there. You're going to have moments of doubt. This is what we're fighting. This is what's one. Because this is like a mixture of things. This is what puts our hearts in a place of desperation. And you've seen what it's like when you're desperate for the things you ain't supposed to be desperate for. But it's different when we're not desperate for the things of the flesh, but we're desperate of things of God. When we're desperate for this relationship, when we're desperate for his love, when we're desperate for his word and his truth, that's when you get hungry and be needing something to drink that on down with. My words, just trying to bring it together while I got my drink in my hand and trying to get some drink at the same time. And so, and at the same time, these are also signs of weaknesses. And this is letting us know this is why we want to study his word, because his promise, when we are weak, he is made strong. Baby, when people are using the word to beat you upside your head, and to let you know you can't come in with them shoes on. You can't get in this party with them shoes on. You'll never make it to heaven with this. It's like if they're always telling you and making you focus on what you can't do and what you're not going to do and what God is not going to be connected, then it's like, then how are we ever going to get there? And so this is a thing where we want to see what God is actually saying to us, because God has a plan to I'm jumping ahead. So here it is. Because God has given us hope. His word is giving us life. And you don't really know this thing unless you start reading it, hearing the word of God, seeing what it is, taste and see, baby, because it's delicious. And so there's this word, because I don't know where it is, and I must have passed by it on my other notes, but it's still here. There is no weapon formed against you that shall prosper. Here's this on one side, right? God knows the plans that he has for you, plans to prosper you and not to harm you. If you know, I don't care what this thing is looking like. Here in your heart, you know and you understand that there is no weapon formed against you shall prosper. Baby, why are you looking at the weapon? Why are you looking at the weapon? He knows the plans that he has for you, plans to prosper you and not to harm you. So if he knows the plans, he is with you, not against you. He is for you. So it's for us to be on his team and to see what his plans are and see what he has for us. This is the thing. The more that we learn about God, the more our faith grows, the more that our eyes are open to the truth, and we're able to see that he is faithful to his word. So it helps with us being faithful and consistent because we want it. We desire it. We want to. It's hell here. Why not bring the kingdom here? Why not when we study Christ, we have a better understanding of how to be loved in this flesh on this earth. And when you are being loved, boy, it circulates around. And it also comes back. You reap what you sow. That's not just when you're doing bad. So when we're putting ourselves in a place to get to know the Father and experience the love of the brother, being oneness with the kingdom, it shows you right now how you've already won, no matter what the situation is looking like, because we have something to stand on and it's firm. We're not leaning to what we think we can do, what we think we can't do, to our own power, but this power is much bigger than us. It's much bigger than the weapon that think it is formed against us that shall not prosper. Do you know why it's not going to prosper? Because we are more than conquerors and we are made for more. And I love you guys. God loves you even more. Study the word and find out what it is that he says, because this is an experience, baby. It's a life changer, a game changer. I love you guys. Like, share, and subscribe. God loves you more. Find out why. Till next time.